Hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. It is Monday, April 25th, and this episode is brought to you by my great sponsor, Earthquaker Devices. Been a sponsor for over 2 years, bringing the heat to Let There Be Talk. Support them, everyone. You play guitar, bass, drums, whatever, any kind of instrument. Hook a pedal up to it. Yeah, you can hook pedals up to drums. You didn't think you could? Check out some of those 80s drums. Pew, 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 pew. Remember that shit? Doom, 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 doom. Like fucking Simmons Electronics drums. Make your shit sound like fucking asteroids. Pew, 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 pew. Earthquaker Devices. Handmade guitar stomp boxes right in Akron, Ohio. Amazing quality, super cool shit. And not only are they killer quality, but they look cool too. You don't want to be having a lame looking pedal board. People are in the front row. They can see your pedal board. Make sure your pedal board's fucking dope. Check out some of their pedals. They've got so many great ones. I like the pitch bay. The tentacle. Plug your guitar into a tentacle. Check them out, earthquakerdevices.com. They also got badass curly chords, those retro chords. Get up there and be the ultimate hipster with your curly cord. They got cool shirts, too. I rock the Octopussy shirt. They got a badass forum on their website. You can go on and read their forum and find out what every pedal is all about. Best Earthquaker demo vid ever. That's some entry in the forum. Anyway, check them out. earthquakerdevices.com. I love the guys. Just fantastic people. They got an Instagram. They have a Twitter. They have a website. They have the digital stuff so you can find them. Check it out, Earthquaker Devices. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in today. It is Monday, the 25th, and brutal weekend. Still not feeling good from that whole Prince passing. It's just unbelievable. I just can't believe it. Still can't believe it. And thanks for everybody's emails on the Prince episode, which is strange too, because my guest today is Suli McCullough, and fantastic comedian, funny ass actor, great friend. And in the middle of this episode, which we recorded last Tuesday, there I am talking about Prince again. I talk about him on numerous episodes over the 4 years. And boom, I'm listening to the podcast today, making some tweaks, and I hear it, and I'm just like, wow. Wow, he's gone. And what an outpouring from the world. Fantastic, man. Just people celebrating this man. Everything purple, all the monuments. Coachella went purple this weekend. First Avenue had an incredible celebration. Saturday Night Live went full tilt. My favorite was Bruce Springsteen opening his show with Purple Rain a few nights ago. Man, I got teary-eyed on that. It was just heavy. Long live Prince, man. I'm going to be talking about it for years. It's going to take a long time. I'll never get over it. I just have to deal with it. And there it is. We just keep moving, man. More proof. Live your life. Get out. And do things. Have fun. I also want to give my shout out and and thank yous and love to everyone that came out to the La Jolla Comedy Store over the weekend. It was just an epic weekend. And my good friends Feng Chow and Christian Spicer, thanks for opening the shows, guys, and thanks to everybody that came out. It's just it's starting to get good, people. People are coming out, and it feels good, man. I can't thank you guys enough for leaving the house. I know it's hard, man, just sitting around. Like, I got to go out. Shit, got to get in the car. I just worked all week. So thank you for coming out. I headlined there all weekend, and it was just an amazing weekend. And I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you. I got some great stuff going on this week. If you're in Fresno, I will be headlining out at Frank's Place downtown on Friday, April 29th. Also, what else I got going on? Oh, yeah, Reno, May 27th through the 22nd. Come see me in Reno, headlining at the Laugh Factory at the Silver Legacy Casino. And then back to Denver to one of my favorite places on earth, the Comedy Works, June 28th through July 2nd. These are all headlining dates. If you have friends in those areas, spread the word. Also tell everyone on Twitter. And, go some grassroots action. Spread the word. And don't forget to leave the reviews on iTunes. You guys are kicking ass on that, actually. I'm checking it out right now. What are we at this week? I'm trying to get to 1,000. We're at 566 reviews on iTunes. So just pop one on there. Just bloop. Yes, like the podcast. Takes 1 second. Boom. It helps. Believe me. And if you want to leave a donation, hit patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. All right, guys. Let's see here. My guest today, an incredible friend. He is an awesome, awesome human, a funny man. We met years ago, 5 years ago, I guess, when I first started comedy. I was about a year in, and I did a show with this man out in Lancaster, California. And I always say a good way to get to know people is a road trip with them and a comedy show. And immediately I bonded with this guy, Suli McCullough. If you don't know him, seek him out ASAP. Super funny, and I just love this guy. He's just such a good dude. And that's great, man. When you're out in Hollywood and you run into someone you love, it's like, all right, it's going to be a great night. We're going to exchange stories and have a good time. And I think you guys are going to love this episode, and you're going to love him. So keep rocking, everyone. And thanks for all your support and your listening and your emails and everything. Thanks for being you. Keep the candles lit. Suli McCullough. All right, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Let There Be Talk. Got a great guest today. Introduce yourself, my man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Suli McCullough, a.k.a. Crazy Legs from Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Yeah, I got a dream. I'm in the house. How's that for an introduction?
Yeah, that's a great one. Do that voice again.
The Crazy Legs voice?
Yeah.
Doctor say I ain't never going to walk again.
How did you come up with the voice? Did you feel it as you were reading the script?
Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you a little Don't Be a Menace insight, and fans of Don't Be a Menace are going to love this. Sean Wayans and myself and Chris Spencer, we were all in the comedy clubs at the same time, and we were all hungry, ready to try and, make our mark. So we wrote this movie, and we wanted it to be really funny and make an impact. So we were hungry. Yeah. And, Crazy Legs was based on the dude in the wheelchair in Boys in the Hood.
Right. I remember.
And what I thought was really funny about the character, or how to make it funny, was have a dude in a wheelchair that doesn't see himself as restricted in any way.
He doesn't even know.
No, he doesn't even know he's in a wheelchair. Like he's the best dancer in the hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether he can walk or not. So once I found like that idea to explore the character, then it became really fun for me. Yeah. And so I started I started like watching people. I go to like these really like hood parks, you know what I mean? And watch like the like the cookouts and stuff. And I would see all the like the relatives and everything, and dudes would roll up in wheelchairs, and I would just see how like, they have more energy than everybody else. You know what I mean? Because like, yo, I got shot. You know what I mean? Like even just saying it like,
this is a gold medal.
Yeah, I got shot, fool.
What do you got?
And so yes, I really kind of made that character by just watching. Like I remember it was at the Fox Hills Mall over in LA, and I saw a dude, and I was like, oh man, that's Crazy Legs. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was cool, man. It was cool how that character clicked. And I remember too, like some people were like, yo, you're making fun of people in wheelchairs. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not at all. Yeah. Like, you don't get it. I'm not at all. I have so many friends that are in wheelchairs that I'm friends with because they just loved what I did with that character. And that to me is like it just validates that. You know what I mean? Like,
there's no
no, not at all.
Right.
And that's not how I saw it. You know what I mean? Like his energy is so up. He's like, yeah, that's the way you start the day. You know what I mean? Like he's like they're in the hood, and it's there's a lot of despair, but he doesn't see it at all. So he's a very, very optimistic character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that energy, I think, is infectious. And it's cool. Like, we did that movie 20 years ago.
That's insane.
It's
right?
crazy. It's
20
crazy.
Years
20
ago.
years ago.
How old were you guys?
We were in our 20s, dude. We were like,
and
like
you
I
guys
said,
were just sitting around. You see Boys in the Hood. And
yeah,
you guys
we
go,
saw
"Let's do a
like that
spoof."
that was like when they were making all those movies. You know what I mean? And so it was just ripe for parody. Like that was the funny thing too. Is like I remember when the movie first came out, people didn't know it was a parody.
Yeah.
Like they went to the movie.
Gangster flick.
Yeah, exactly. They went to the movie like it was a real movie. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're making fun of this.
I mean, look at the title.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
And that was, we were even like strategic about that. Like we wanted to use all the letters possible.
Yeah.
So all it would say on the marquee is "Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood," and you couldn't choose any other movie. So you're like, well, honey, I guess we're gonna go see that one.
Yeah, that takes up the whole marquee.
Yeah.
You now, how long does it take you guys to write this film?
It took us about, I don't know, I think it took us probably about almost a year total to write. Yeah.
Had any of you guys wrote films before?
No. Well, I mean, maybe in college or something,
Right.
but Sean and Marlon both come from very writing intensive families. Like Keenan is a writer director.
Living color. And
so those guys, they really had the bug to create your own stuff, which is great. It's one of the things that I admire most about them is they know.
Well, that's got to be one of the hardest working families.
Oh,
I know.
absolutely,
You know what I mean?
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
It's
They that was a good family to sort of learn comedy around and under, because they were so focused on creating a vision and executing that vision and getting a voice out there that wasn't represented. So yeah, I mean, like it wasn't hanging out, you know what I mean? Like we were very, very, very focused on being as funny as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Now, when I first meet you, I have like the most vivid day of when we met. It's hilarious. We were doing a show out there at Beck's Grill for Jay Davis out in Lancaster.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I didn't know you at all, and Jay said, "Oh, we're gonna pick up my friend Suli. He's doing the show." and then we ride together, so we become friends talking and stuff.
Right.
At the time, I believe you were writing on the George Lopez show.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I was only a year into comedy, and I was like, whoa, this guy writes on a show. You know what I mean? And quickly I found out like what a grind burnout that was.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean that's funny that we met at that time because, I started out as a stand-up. I went to UCLA. We had a comedy club there.
Is it the one I do? West
yeah.
Side? Oh,
That club's been around for like.
That's amazing. How great that long that place has been.
Yeah, it's been around forever. Like, I mean, it's pretty amazing. So when I started, West Side Comedy Theater. That's right. So I was in the comedy club.
Shout out to my man Tim, who runs it now.
Oh hell yeah! Shout out to Tim. What
Love
up,
that
Tim?
place.
Hey Tim, we down with your place. How about that?
Yeah, West Side Comedy Theater, and UCLA has an amazing radio station too,
right,
where all kinds of people have different shows. I've gone on that a lot of times. I love the UCLA campus. I love everything about it.
I'm a Bruin. I went to UCLA.
It's weird because in my mind, young, I was like, I was never going to college or anything, but I was thinking like, if I was an athlete, I remember my hockey coach went to UCLA, Dwayne May.
Right.
And he played on UCLA football, I believe, wide receiver.
Oh,
but
nice.
I was always like, Bruins, man. That's a college.
Yeah.
And Jim Morrison.
Yeah, dude.
The film school and all that whole thing of my mind of UCLA.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty amazing place to go. I transferred from San Jose State. I grew up in Northern California, even though I was born here. And I had some friends that were film students. And so when I went to go visit, like it took me one visit, and I was like, yo, I'm going here. This place is unbelievable. Like I'm going to figure out a way.
Yeah, how'd you do it?
I transferred. I was pretty smart. So yeah. Were
you like a nerd growing up in San Jose?
Yeah, but I was black, so it's like you're kind of a cooler nerd. You know what I mean? Like
that'd be a good movie, Black Nerd.
Yeah, Black Nerd would be a good movie. Yeah. Wow, I might have to write that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but no, like up there, like we were nerds. But like I used to break dance, so you know what I mean. So that made me cool.
That. How old are you?
I'm 48.
Yeah,
I'm 48.
50.
Yeah.
So I really remember that early. It was late 70s when all of a sudden Poppin' came along, and I tell the story a lot. I went to an all black camp, a summer camp,
right?
And these kids had Kraftwerk. We are the robots.
Yeah.
And they were just we are the they were doing this shit, and I was like, this is incredible. I couldn't believe how they moved, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
Like I mean, the way they were popping and stuff, pop locking. You know?
Yeah.
But they turned me on to all that early shit, man, and I was so happy that I had, like I always say, multicultural friends growing up and shit.
Well, dude, that's the best thing about growing up in Northern California.
It really is, the Bay Area.
Like my junior high was across the street from Apple Computer, right? And so it made me think globally at a very early age. You know what I mean? And I was lucky because I had cousins that lived in East Palo Alto and cousins that lived in Richmond. So I'd spend time with my cousins and, be popping and breaking with them and then take that back to Cupertino.
Yeah.
And, like it was crazy, dude. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. It was like, it was such a great place to just kind of be creative and free and not care about what anybody else thought. I can see why it helped everything else that came from it.
It really does, man. It's like I've always been around different races,
right?
And Burr's got that one bit where he says we need to hang out with other races to learn stuff. Right. He had ashy skin.
Right.
But it's genius because I did like one of my best friends was black, the other one was Hispanic,
right?
And then and then I had a guy that was Indian,
Sure.
but I never looked at it as like anything different except like these are my bros. You know?
Right.
I couldn't imagine growing up in middle America where it's just all one thing.
Yeah, that would be terrible.
Well, I think it affects everything: your music taste, your movie taste, your
just your ability to receive, interesting influences.
Exactly.
I think, you know what I mean. Like that's why I like, my Northern California roots.
Absolutely.
There's just so much more that you're aware of, and it just rounds you out. I think, for sure.
So you're going to UCLA and you're not a comic at the time?
No, we had a comedy club though, and what we would do is we would get together and we would take these premises and help each other out with our premises.
What got you interested in it?
I always liked it. I always wanted to. I don't know if I necessarily wanted to do it, but it was always something that was special to me.
Yeah,
I would watch
like Pryor. Of course,
yeah, well, like I would watch. There was nobody better than Eddie when I was in high school.
Right.
Like that dude was exploding, and he was the funniest dude. And I was like, yo, I want to be that guy, and I want to be doing it at the speed he's doing it. And as he's young and he's
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he was like
18 to 21.
Yeah, people don't know that aren't from our era. Just how big and Eddie was like a supernova. Like, first of all, you didn't make it that big and you were that young, and
Not
then he
at
was
all.
like always funny. You know what I mean? Like really funny. Like so. I was in high school at the time, and I was like, "Yo, this dude, I want to be this dude." You know what I mean? And I was doing the morning announcements, and I already kind of thought I was funny. So I was like, that was probably the worst thing for me to see was Eddie Murphy. I was like, yo, I'm doing that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It was like me with rock,
Yeah.
I go see AC/DC and I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah, sure.
Fuck everything else, man. I don't need this shit.
Sure. So when I was at UCLA, we would do these writing sessions together, and then we would do shows in the dorms. And then we would
sketch shows.
No, like comedy shows.
Oh, wow.
We would do like a Friday night dorm show where people would come to the cafeteria and the comedy club would put on a show, and then we would have one headliner close the show who was like a regular at the Improv or the Factory. Yeah. So
man, they look so young when you're there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm up there. I'm like, I mean, seriously, someone in college to me looks like they're maybe 16.
Well, let me tell you something, dude. My daughter's 18.
Yeah.
She's a senior, so she's going to college next year.
Yeah.
So if I play colleges, I'll be performing for my daughter's friends.
Yeah. It's weird, but they don't look. To me, it seems like college people, I think because we grow up so long on all those college movies like Animal House and Porky's or any of that stuff, where the guys have like mustaches.
Sure.
And cars.
Well, it's 53-year-olds playing high schools.
That's exactly it. So when you go, hey, how old are you? And they go, oh, I'm 20. You go, 20?
Yeah.
And they're super smart and stuff.
Sure.
And you're just like, wow, man. Because at first you think, oh, this must be like a prodigy class, a bunch of 16-year-olds.
But
no, they're like 20, 21. They look way different than 20, 21-year-olds that you see in the comedy clubs because we perform every night in those clubs, and those people kind of look like they're 25 or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, it's strange, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I loved college for what it is, but I'm kind of glad that I'm an adult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like sometimes I feel like when you do those colleges, they just haven't lived enough yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like also, like Seinfeld had said, colleges are so PC now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I want to be able to take you on a little bit of a ride. Like, that's the thing that I've noticed that they don't have as much trust as they used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like before, you could just take them anywhere, and they're like, "Oh, if he's funny, let's go."
Well, college students to me were always the people that were kind of outside the box. They're in college and they're like, I'm going to live my college years.
Right.
So they're down to do shit like, mushroom trips.
Right. Sure.
And fucking drives across America.
Right.
And hear some radical poetry or movies.
Sure. Yeah.
Stuff like that. But now it just seems
no, it's pretty standard now.
Now it's like
people are like, yo,
computer,
yeah, exactly.
Make money.
I have a mission.
Yeah. I'm going to make an app.
Right.
He said something offensive.
Right.
It's crazy.
I need to report him.
Yeah, right. Blog,
I am not amused.
blog.
You just have been unfollowed. What is the emoji for? I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. I had a great time though. It was it was kind of an honor to perform there. There was like a couple thousand. I was in some big room there,
Mm-hmm.
And they asked me to do it, and I said, you guys know my stuff, right? I mean,
right.
And it was fun to push a few buttons. Sometimes they were like, "Ooh,
yeah, sure."
And other times they would laugh, and I was like, I'd call them out, like, "Fuck you guys,
right?
Loosen up, man,
right?
Loosen up,
right?
Don't go out in the world and get robbed,
right?
You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, listen to what I'm talking about,
right. Yeah, you got to find those ways to engage them. You know what I mean?
Now, what year are we talking when you're doing this comedy?
At UCLA,
Yeah.
that was I graduated at UCLA June of '90, so this
90.
is like '89.
Wow, yeah,
and
so Murphy is huge.
Murphy's giant, man.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like the biggest. Like around that time.
Yeah,
and what
Murphy-
was interesting, like in the comedy clubs, because I was really lucky. I ended up Seinfeld did a show at UCLA.
Yeah.
There was this comedy contest that I entered, and I didn't make it as a performer. I was bummed out about it.
Yeah.
But there was a second part of the competition where the school that ate the most Doritos and saved the rappers got a free concert by Jerry Seinfeld.
Whoa.
So, and apparently UCLA won. So,
wow.
So
check the cancer rate on those students.
Yeah. And so Seinfeld did a free concert at our school.
Wow.
And 4 guys from the comedy club got to open for him.
Wow.
So it was me, Chris Spencer, and then 2 other guys, right?
Wow.
And I remember thinking to myself, because we could only do 5 minutes, because the contract said the opening act will only do 20 minutes. If he does 1 second over, Jerry won't go on.
Wow.
And so in college, we were like, oh man, no,
well, that's
we're not going to.
incredible.
So the 4 of us each did 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, well, I might drop out because, that way I'll give everybody else 1 extra minute. 5 minutes, I can't really do what I do. This is my school, right?
Yeah.
So luckily I didn't do that.
Right.
Yeah, and so, I opened for Seinfeld, and his manager, George Shapiro, was in the audience.
Yeah.
And
Who's still his manager now.
Yeah, he's still his manager now. They've been working together for 37 years, I believe.
And he's amazing and comedian.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
the
He's great.
documentary,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's great. And so he gave me his card afterwards and said, hey, give me a call. I think you have a lot of talent. I was still a junior in college, but that's how I knew I was going to be a real stand-up.
Yeah, I mean, if you got Seinfeld's manager giving you a call, did you give him a call?
Oh, absolutely. But I didn't know who he was. And, you hear stories about Hollywood being crazy. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be... He might have me in porn or something. What I did was... Those shows we did in the dorms, there was this comic named Jordan Brady, who's now a director. I called him because he was like my one legit connection to comedy, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, I did this show with Jerry Seinfeld, and, this guy gave me his card afterwards. Do you know a George Shapiro? And he goes, are you crazy? That's one of the biggest comedy managers in the business. And I tried to play it cool. Oh, well, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to call him. I think I'm going to call him.
Oh Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So I called them the next day,
Yeah.
and and they ended up signing me, and I still had a year left to school.
Yeah.
So I started emceeing at the Improv and the Laugh Factory. I started here in LA, which is like one of the toughest
Me
places
too,
to start,
yeah.
but the best because you learn good technique. So
you learn not to. You don't get out there and do
yeah.
sloppy stuff
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then have to start all over again.
Absolutely. I mean, you're seeing the best of the best, and you learn what good stuff is.
Right.
So I started off like my senior year of college, emceeing at the Improv and the Laugh Factory, and that's how I got started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever work with Jerry again?
I did. I did. Yeah, I absolutely did. He would come into the clubs every now and again, and he would see me and go, "Oh, you're the dude from UCLA." So it was like, it was great.
Right.
Yeah, he was
I would have lost my mind if I met Jerry back then because Jerry to me was, at the time. I always look at it in waves. Okay?
Right,
I'm into Cheech and Chong, Carlin, Pryor.
Right.
Then the 80s come, it's Dice, Kinnison, Murphy.
Right.
Those are the dudes.
Right.
Then we get to Seinfeld, and then, his show, and I saw him like 8 times over the 5-year period, man.
Right.
I was losing my mind. I was like a freak. I'd go see him at
Yeah, sure.
Then we get Chris Rock.
Sure.
So that's the waves of comedy to me. But Seinfeld, I just couldn't believe how good he was,
Well, he's just so technically sound, you know what I mean? Like his jokes
ninja.
his jokes are so precise and just really perfect,
Yeah.
Like you just marvel at his joke writing and just how things like he's just such a craftsman about it. He's always been one of my favorites. Like always been one of my favorites. Like I think my influences are, I love, the just raw talent and personality of Eddie.
Yeah.
But I love, Seinfeld's technique.
Yep.
I love Chris Rock's point of view. Like his joke writing skills are just so, like it's just big punchlines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's like one of the best in that way too. So, and I loved Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Woody Allen's another one that, just that nerdy kind of, like he had such his own voice,
Right.
As that nerdy outsider that wasn't really a nerd because he thought he was cool too.
Yeah.
Like those are like probably the most influential comics that when I instantly think of. Oh, and then I'm sorry, I have to also add Dave too because
Chappelle,
because Dave was like another. He was a guy that I came up with. We were in the clubs together. We actually did the Edinburgh Festival in Scotland together, and that was really fun. So he was a big influence too. Like, those guys are the guys that I sort of look at and go, yeah. They really helped move me along.
Yeah, man. I think that we grew up in the right era too. Because
absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
really go crazy over Flip Wilson. I think that no one talks about him.
Oh, not at all.
And
not at all.
These guys, that Geraldine character he did.
Oh, absolutely.
Was crazy great. And then, of course, Red Fox, Sanford and Son. A lot of early TV inspired me to do comedy too.
Well,
Chico and the Man.
Sanford and Son is. I mean, if you just watch that show,
it's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. That's really right on. It's a masterpiece. Like if you just watch it just for Red Fox's timing, like
unbelievable.
His timing is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but Garry Shandling wrote on Sanford and Son.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he wrote on Sanford and Son, and it helps you understand how great Gary is.
Wow.
You know what I mean? To have that experience firsthand.
Show.
Yeah. I mean, but not just that, but a show that. I mean, Red Fox is one of the best.
Oh, man.
I mean, one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely, man. When I watched that show, I can't believe how bad I laughed. And I was probably like, I'm 50 now. I don't know what year the show came out, but I was probably like 8 to 10.
Sure.
Maybe 11.
Sure.
I specifically remember exactly watching that show. We only had 10 channels back then or whatever, 7 channels.
Sure.
I never missed it.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe every guy on the show. And, you know.
Well, everybody had a move, dude.
Oh.
Everybody had a move.
Yeah, Aunt Esther. Lamont. Grady.
Yeah, Grady was awesome.
Crushed it.
Grady was awesome.
Lamont's seedy friend. I forget his name.
Yeah.
And
Rollo.
And you know, that whole fucking thing to me, I was just like, this thing is a masterpiece.
Dude, sometimes you have to be reminded of how good some things are.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I remember I was working in the Sacramento Punchline. I was doing a week there. And a rerun of Sanford and Son came on at 7.
Yeah.
And the show was at 8, right?
Yeah.
So I would watch this rerun of Sanford and Son every day before the show. And it would make me laugh, and it would put me in such a good mood that the shows were amazing that week. And I was like, that's a testament to how great that show is.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
It's so inspiring.
It just put me in the total right frame of mind, and I'll never forget that week because of Sanford and Son. Because, like, just the timing of, oh, cool, this comes on at 7.
Yeah.
I can watch this right before the show and then go to the club.
Great.
Like, it was great, dude. It was great. It was the highlight of the week for me.
I remember all the episodes, too. It's so weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love the one where they go to Vegas, and he's in the fountain trying to get changed. I love that one. I love the one where later on was weird when Lamont quits.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got that fat white guy living at the house. What is that about, right?
Yeah, that's when the show just didn't know what it was doing.
It's like
the only thing that kept that season together was that Grady was so hilarious. Like his beard, because he kind of had like that woolly kind of beard. Like it looked like it connected to his hair. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
But I think even he was protesting that season because he let it grow out a little more. Like he's like, I don't care if I'm on TV or not. You know?
Yeah.
And it just made this is what I'm going with this season.
Man.
But it just made me, dude, that show was so funny to me.
I recently read a big story about Sanford and Son, and they really talked up the genius of Lamont. Which is incredible because when you're young, you don't understand the straight man.
Well, dude, nobody values the straight man.
Right.
That's a hard lane to be in. You know what I mean? Because you're watching this other person get all the laughs, but you know, don't forget that's a 40-year veteran that's been doing stand-up in the most wrong places. You know what I mean? Like Red Fox is in Malcolm X's autobiography. Yeah. You know what I mean? If that doesn't show you where that dude comes from.
The impact.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Unbelievable.
And it's before he's Red Fox.
Yeah.
You know, it's just when he's, red.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's very early on in what he would become. So, for Lamont to have to, not get the laughs to that guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of cocaine going on, too, in the background, which I didn't even know. It's weird to think those guys are just doing coke and shit. Yeah. And how much great work they were putting out.
Oh, dude, that show is unbelievable, man.
Oh, man. It's
unbelievable.
I really think that without the 70s, for me, and I'm watching that CNN 70s documentary right now on Netflix.
Right.
It's like 7 episodes or whatever. I really think without the 70s, I just would be a different guy, Of course I would, but what I'm saying is I value and worship when I grew up so much for the music, the TV, and the movies.
Well, dude, we were very, very lucky. Like even, we were talking about breakdancing and stuff, but we got rap in its purest form.
Really did.
You know what I mean? Like we got the best
Sugar Hill Gang
we got the best of that genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when it was the most innovative, when it wasn't so corporate run, when it, where the dudes weren't derivatives. You know what I mean? They were pure originals.
It's incredible. You got the graffiti,
right?
You've got the dancing, and you've got the music, and it's this perfect storm hitting, right? And also the look. I worship the look of like Run DMC. I still love the Cassell glasses.
Oh yeah, the big Gazelle glasses. Right.
And they're still making those now, and I just loved like early Beasties Boys look of them, and all that stuff, man. And it's funny because people, they always play me hip hop now, and I'm so not interested,
right?
Because it's just like to me, it's a lot like 70s rock. I was around when the shit was fucking
right when
killer.
it was fresh. Yeah,
it was killer.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like that's where having like kids helps. Like my daughter's 18. She's a cheerleader. So. Like all the stuff that she likes, I'm kind of hip to, and I like it. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I get it. It's just you like your own stuff better. You know what I mean?
Like there's a lot of new music I listen to all the time now. It's just not hip hop,
right?
Because there's I did hear. Over the years I've heard guys I like. There's this guy I like now, Sage Francis.
Oh, I haven't heard him.
Oh yeah, he's a white dude. Red Band turned me on to him. And he came to one of our gigs at the store. Mm-hmm. I like stuff. Of course, I think the high watermark for hip hop was like NWA. Like I loved gangster rap.
Right. Oh, so you were into okay.
I was way into NWA, Paris, Ice Cube, Public Enemy, man.
Yeah, Public Enemy was the greatest.
Yeah, they're the greatest.
It was funny, like even though I lived here, was born here, but grew up in Northern Cal, I always liked East Coast rap the most. Like, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, Gangstar. Like I was... That just was the sound for me.
Ground zero.
Eric B. Rakim.
Yeah, that's what we
there's
heard
nothing.
first.
Yeah, right,
Totally.
right.
I mean, we heard all that first, and I love the simplicity of it too.
Right.
Just that 808 drum sheet or
right.
Me and my boys standing out on it. There's something cool about it. It's storytelling.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
I love all that. But when it gets into some really high-tech sounds and some radical messages, like I'm such a huge Spike Lee fan.
Right.
But like, when I hear Fight the Power, I go crazy right now, even when I hear it. Fight the power.
Well, it's dramatic, dude.
It's so
great.
It's
dramatic.
And
it's got a feeling about it, too.
Oh,
like, you feel those records. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what a 1-2 punch. Do the Right Thing and that record together was such an era to me.
Right.
I think it's like...
Well, it's funny. It's like, I think that the unfortunate part about this era is... people aren't as conscious. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that Fight the Power record was a in-your-face record. You know what I mean? Like, I remember I was friends with MC Lyte.
Yeah.
And we did a movie together, and she was telling me she was on tour with Public Enemy, and they were doing tours across the country, and there were places they couldn't go.
Yeah, I went to that tour.
Yes, yeah.
I went to that tour at the Shoreline.
Yeah, she was telling me about just the subtleties of what went down, and, I mean... that stuff wasn't just readily acceptable. It wasn't a Garth Brooks concert. You know what I mean?
No, man. I remember I was there, and people were asking me where the bathroom was.
Right.
Because they thought I worked there.
Right,
Why would I be there?
Right.
This
Absolutely.
wasn't where there were tons of white people at the concert.
No, not at all. Not at all. It was a thing.
No, it was a thing, man. And there was some riots going on at the Public Enemy concert. So people were like, what's going to happen?
I mean, people were boycotting them. Like, there was an actual threat. It was a threat.
I learned a lot from Public Enemy, more than I learned, I think. It's funny, than I learned in school from records and documentaries and stuff. I think school should be skipped and we just show kids documentaries. They're going to learn way more.
Right.
My point is, on Fight the Power, when he says Elvis was a hero to most, never meant shit to me, straight up racist, simple and plain, motherfuck him and John Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would he say that? Then I dig deep. I find out John Wayne didn't have any blacks or anybody.
Sure.
He had made white people paint their faces and shit to be in the movies. Never knew that.
Sure.
Burn Hollywood Burn, another thing, So I was...
Well, I love that line, I like Nike, but wait a minute, our neighborhoods are poor, so put some money in it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and I'm a sneakerhead. You know what I mean? Like, I love sneakers, but I was like, yo, he's right about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
These lyrics are incredible.
Yeah. I mean, that's really calling for substantive change. Like, you're not getting that really in rap. Like, I think... Kendrick is like the closest to that.
Yeah.
I think, there are times where Kanye hits that when he's trying to do that.
Yeah.
But you don't have a lot of rappers really doing that.
Well, also, I think the problem is Chuck D was not trying to be
I mean, those dudes came from the radio.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They were radio DJs.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they started rapping, and then just blew it up in a whole nother level.
Yeah, he's so underrated.
Oh, absolutely.
I think everybody now just wants to be stars.
Well, that's a lot of what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was about, I got something to say.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Man, those SW1 guys had the machine guns on stage.
When I was at UCLA, they did a free concert in our quad at lunch. Right?
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And I was such a hip-hop head. I was like, I can't believe Public Enemy is coming to play our quad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so these dudes, I mean, Flavor Flav, the S1Ws at UCLA.
Incredible.
By the Bruin Bear.
Yeah, by the Bruin Bear. And what was the other guy's name? Professor Griff.
Yeah, Professor Griff.
He was.
Yeah, he didn't even rhyme.
Oh,
that
no.
dude just said angry shit.
That shit was crazy,
yeah,
right?
Dude. If he had a jersey, it's like, I don't think I can buy your jersey.
Man.
Professor Griff.
I heard he's back in now.
That's awesome.
Wow. I mean,
that's hilarious.
He was so radical.
But
right?
dude, like Public Enemy, they rocked our quad, right?
Yeah.
But it was like, most of the people didn't know who they were because they were, you had to really know hip hop. And then the next day, our school paper, they had a picture of Chuck D, Flavor Flav, and everybody, and the caption read, "The Face of the Enemy." Wow. And then it became this controversy about, that's racist to say it's the face of the enemy. Like, that's how political they were back then. You know what I mean? Like, even just them performing for free at our quad became this political thing.
I love guys like that. And it spills into my... the comics I love and music I love, of course, like Rage Against the Machine. I think Zach De La Rocha, he took...
I went to see them when they played Coachella. That was like the last time I went to Coachella. That was such a great show. And I'd never seen them live.
Oh yeah.
I just really liked their music.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it had a passion about it. And so when I heard they were doing Coachella, I had to find a way to get there. And it was great.
Right? I mean, like I said, it comes down to dudes that are willing to burn it to the ground. For
Absolutely.
message.
It's like, what do you stand for? Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't. I believe this to my core that when you make a decision to be an artist, you got to really do it.
Totally.
You know what I mean? You got to really do it. You can't fake it.
Yeah.
I actually, recently lost a very good friend of mine, Garry Shandling, and he was such a tremendous artist, dude, like such a tremendous artist. And just knowing him, I knew him for 19 years.
Yeah.
And it made me better, like just knowing him made me better.
Yeah, we were just talking about that before we started the show. You and I think it's weird how you get to an age and you start losing friends. And I was telling Marin this, like he emailed me one night or texted me one night. He said, "Man, you seemed kind of frantic and loony last night, at the club." And I think you get to an age where I just turned 50 a couple months ago. And all of a sudden, people are dying. All these rock stars and comedians and stuff. And I started to freak out. Like, it was the first time where I was like, I don't want to die.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I'm at the happiest point of my life right now. I found what I worship doing.
Sure.
Comedy.
Sure.
And it becomes like we were saying, fuck everything. Like in here, I'm getting rid of all these CDs. And you start saying, fuck everything. I just need to live these moments out now and enjoy everything, You get trapped, though. Like you say, fuck everything. And then one night you're on eBay and you're like, I need that.
I need that Mr. T doll badly.
It's such a fucking weird barometer, right? Yeah, I need that Mr. T and a Stretch Armstrong. I need a Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, but I need it in the box.
I need it in the box. I don't want to unopen it and play it. Oh, my God. I need it in the box. That one's not mint. I got the Evel Knievel mint.
Right.
There's a lunacy to life that...
But, dude, that's how I feel about collecting sneakers. It's like I used to do it because I go on the road. I'd have nothing to do
Yeah.
during the day. And so I go to these like sporting goods stores and I look for cool stuff. I knew what stuff had more value and
Yeah.
I knew what I liked. And so, I'd buy sneakers and it was fun and it was something to do. And I have a lot of sneakers and, I'm like, yeah, I like them, but do I really need, what's the point? Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I'm at this point now where I'm like, well, why am I what is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know,
like
what
it, but
is
so
it?
what?
It's weird. Like you just think like I'm single. I don't have family or anything, and I sometimes wonder, do I just buy something to press some button in my mind to make me happy?
Right.
And I think as I get older and older, I have to stop and think, I'm on stage every night. This is good.
Right.
Yeah, I don't need the other stuff. It's tough though, but it's because you're in a format all your life of like, got to get the new shoe, got to get the new phone, got to get the new,
Sure.
And I do know a lot of people that never got into that. They're just guys like, I just got this shit at Target. I wear it and roll.
Right.
I could never be that extreme.
Yeah, I'm not that dude. I'm not shopping at Target.
Yeah,
for clothes.
right.
I've never bought anything
Me neither.
clothing wise to wear at Target.
Yeah.
I will do Goodwill though.
I love Goodwill.
Yeah, I'll crush a Goodwill.
Oh, are you kidding me? On the road, there's nothing like
I will
a
crush
good
a
Goodwill. They all
Yeah.
got that same smell.
Yeah, they do.
It smells like death.
Like when if you buy a T-shirt you like, you're going to immediately wash it twice.
yeah. Someone died that owned that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so true. The Goodwill is just
that $1.49 T-shirt you're wearing has a lot of sorrow attached to it.
I think at funerals they should have the guy shit next to it. So they how great
That would be
So you're
hilarious.
at the funeral
And you
go,
could actually raise money to pay for the funeral.
That's what I'm saying. So you're like, hey man, you going to Jim's funeral? Fuck yeah. Remember that shirt he had? I hope it's there. I want his jacket. And so the body goes down and you step to the right, you buy the shit, the funeral's paid for. You leave with that members only.
Dude, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, just racks next to the grave. Oh my God. How fucking
Jim was a good man, but his shit was even better.
Yeah. First item is his Rolex Seamaster. You're like, oh man, Sea Dweller.
Turn it into an auction.
Right, exactly.
You know what's funny is like if Trump gets elected, he's gonna put that he's gonna make that a law.
Man, well, you're killing two birds with one stone.
You really are.
Because here's the thing.
And you're reviving the mortuary business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're making it almost like one of those storage war shows.
Yeah, that's what it is. Hey, dudes are just fucking, they're slipping into funerals. They don't even know the guy.
Yeah, right. I'd like to say something.
Yeah. Hey,
I'd like to buy all those jeans.
This dude had a big selvage denim collection. I'm hitting his funeral. Guys, they're on Facebook. Look at his clothes, man. He's got good
That's
shit.
hilarious.
God damn. That is insane.
That's funny.
How do you meet Garry?
I did an episode of the Larry Sanders Show.
Oh yeah, you were on it?
Yeah, I did the Pain Equals Funny episode. Ironically enough.
Yeah.
And
what a show this show
that
was.
show is amazing, dude. And that was a phase of my career where, as an actor and a comedian, I was like, I want to do the shows that I really like.
Yeah.
And so his show, I was such a fan, and I got cast as an actor on the show.
Did you audition?
I auditioned, yeah. And got cast and was hyped.
Wow. Oh.
And so we started talking.
That's equal to me getting on like Louis.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's your dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
totally.
So we started talking, and that's weird because normally you don't have a lot of interaction with the star of a show.
Yeah.
But we started talking like in between scenes or something, and he was like a mad cool dude.
Yeah.
And so we like kind of instantly became friends, and he had a basketball game that was really kind of a private thing that people didn't really talk about that much, but now it's known a little more. So I played in his basketball game for a lot of years. A guy that was a writer producer on the show, after I did the episode, was like, "Oh, Garry plays in a game. You should play in his game," and started playing in his game. And I play basketball, and so it was great. So I played in the game for a long time, and we became better friends. And then most recently we started writing together, which was great. I wrote on a few projects for him, and we were developing something. So, that was really cool to have this full circle kind of friendship relationship that, had a writing aspect to it. I mean, it was like it was a really full friendship. You know what I mean? And to write with the dude, write jokes with the dude was, I mean, how lucky is that? You know what I mean? Man. As a stand-up, who gets to say, I write jokes with Garry Shandling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts.
If you guys haven't seen the show, you're fucking missing out. It was on about, what do you think, 15 years ago? 10 years ago?
Well, it's coming back now. HBO is bringing the Larry Sanders Show.
Because it seems so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the same era as Seinfeld. So, yeah.
And the show is basically, he's a David Letterman type
Sure, he has a talk show, and it's the behind the scenes and the neurosis of this talk show host, and
in the driest, most honest way.
It's really a brilliant show, and I think as it comes back to HBO, and this generation gets to appreciate what it is. People are going to have a even greater love for Gary's body of work. I mean, it's really impressive. He was a very, very, very impressive. The dude was a supernova, man. He was like. To me, he was like Steph Curry with the shot, but then he was also John Wooden because, he just really, he mentored Judd Apatow, Sarah Silverman, and, so many, kind of prominent voices in comedy, and aside from being one of the best also. Yeah. I mean, it's really, I hate that he's gone, but I'm so thankful that I got to...
the
time I got with him, it's like, who gets that? You know what I mean? Who gets that?
Yeah.
So it's pretty. I'm really fortunate. Fortunate.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy when people are just gone instantly.
Yeah.
That's fucking heavy. It's just
it's really heavy. It's this was a thing where he passed away on Thursday. I saw him on Tuesday. We wrote together on Tuesday. So. And that day that he passed away, I was actually on my way to his house to write with him that day also. And so, it's surreal almost, I'm still processing it. It's real.
Yeah, man. It's, we're just at that age.
Yeah, man, we are
you just go on all the time.
I started doing comedy when I was like 19. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm 48 now. It's like it's insane. It doesn't even sound right.
Yeah, right. Man,
you know what I mean? It doesn't sound right. It just sounds like what?
Boom, the whole life.
Yeah, dude, that's my life.
Last night I was eating dinner with Ian, and he goes, "What's the date? The 20th?" And I was like, I can't fucking believe it's already the 20th. Our life just flies fucking by.
Right.
And we just, it's almost Groundhog's Day for comedians. It's just get up, hope you got an audition or something, podcast.
Oh, yeah. Sit down, write, try some jokes, keep pushing yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged, don't care about what anybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Reset. And this, you really have to be so disciplined for the long haul of it. You know what I mean?
You really do. I had a great thing happen last night. I was really down the last couple of weeks. It's just like, man, I'm just not getting enough spots,
Right.
Sure,
right.
I get spots every night, but I mean, it's like it's a different game now. Comedy's gotten so big.
It's so saturated now.
Yeah. That you just get a couple morsels, and then the rest of the time you and I are doing hostels. And open mics
you're going up wherever you can. Because that's what you have to do to stay competitive.
Yeah. But I was with a couple guys last night, and they're above me, and they were complaining that they weren't getting spots.
Right.
And I was these guys are above me, and it hit me right there. I was like, I got to just be lucky for what I have.
Dude, you absolutely have to.
I got to be happy.
Earlier this week, I went to the store on a Monday night.
Yeah,
and
I saw you there.
Yeah, and it's like I got my little 5 to 7 minutes.
Yep.
Did my spot and was completely like, okay, cool. That was Monday. I got a spot at the Comedy Store. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Totally.
Great. Get your work done. Did you do what you were supposed to do on stage? Great.
That's how you got to take it.
That's how you have to take it.
You
got
to take it in now.
Yeah. You just go, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at the store on Monday.
Like you said, in for the long haul.
Yep. Yep. But that. Like you're building something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, for me too, like even watching Chris Rock get ready for the Oscars and how many spots
intensely,
that he did at the store, like that's one of the biggest and best about to do a, seminal moment in TV.
The global platform.
Yes, for a major audience.
Yeah.
And he's working. He's just getting his stand-up and his stage time like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that for me, seeing that was, it was very inspiring. It was very inspiring.
Absolutely. I love that, man.
Yeah.
Interesting thing. I remember about a year ago, you and I were talking, and because you write for a lot of people, and you write for TV shows, and you write monologues and all kinds of stuff. You did the Lopez show. Did you also write on Tonight Show?
Yeah, I wrote for Jay Leno. I wrote the year that they were transitioning him out.
Oh yeah.
To bring Conan in.
Oh yeah.
So it was kind of like the most turbulent year to be.
The weirdness. Where
the one black writer on the Tonight Show. It's like the show is going away. He's getting phased out. Oh, let's bring one black writer in.
Yeah.
In this group of 18.
Yeah.
And everyone's like not sure of what they're going to do for the their livelihood.
Yeah.
And here I am trying to get jokes in the monologue, like
Here's
the new
one.
guy.
Yeah, here's
hey
one.
Jay, here's one.
They're like, hey, the ship's going down. Relax.
Well, the funny thing is like the first day I got hired, right?
Yeah.
I'm like eager, and I want to get some jokes in, and I'll show you guys. And I run into Jay, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of know him from the clubs, but not really. And the first thing he says to me, he goes, "Hey, welcome to the Titanic."
Hilarious. I love
like
how
day one.
I just like let you know this is part-time job, buddy.
Yeah, this is going away.
Yeah, 1 year. I've been here 40. Whatever.
Right. Right.
My point is, though, I remember about a year ago, you were like, we had a deep conversation where you're like, I got to start all over.
Right.
I don't want to talk about Crazy Legs anymore.
Right.
I don't want to. And it was a rough period.
Sure.
And it really reminded me of that period I told you where Ian was like, you're a funny dude, but your stuff sucks.
Right.
And I started over.
Right.
And it was a serious, long fucking lesson year. But I came out on the other end like, thank God.
Right.
And you were at that point. So you wanted to transition out and
well,
write
yeah,
more
it's like
about
I'm
you.
not going to deny what that Crazy Legs thing is. Like
Right.
people like that, and it's cool. It's not the sum total of who I am. You know what I
Right,
mean?
exactly.
Like, and I knew even when that was at its most popular point, I didn't want to have a wheelchair on stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I didn't. You know what I mean?
You roll out.
Hey, everybody.
Where's the check?
Yeah, I'm back.
Where's the check, bitches?
Are you ready for 45 minutes of this?
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
But like, and I also was like, I was a stand-up first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm an actor, dude. Like that was a character.
Totally.
Like I can.
It'd be like the Fonz being the Fonz everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, dude, chill with that.
We get it with the A.
We get it. You're Fonzie.
Yeah.
We get it. But yeah, man, like I that was a, I did have this writing sort of career where, I could come in and write in a system, and, those experiences were great because they give you discipline. They, teach you the fundamentals of just set up punchline. Like The Tonight Show was like getting paid to go to grad school. I felt like it really was, one of those things that I'll always look back on and feel great about it. And know, okay, that foundation will help you forever. Like I knew that back then.
Totally.
I also knew that I didn't want to just be a writer for hire.
Yeah.
And that's just not what I want for myself. So
well, you're a performer. And
that also can do those other
right,
things
like
and
I
enjoys
worship
doing
being
those
on
other
the
things.
stage.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is bullshit, just waiting
Right.
to get onto the stage.
Right. Well, and I feel like I do like writing. I do like the fact that I can go in a room and crank out pages and, create things. And, I have been lucky in, working with friends of mine and creating really good stuff for them.
Yeah.
But I also know there's things that I want to serve for myself. And I think there's starting over gets you there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it gets you there. Like, I'll do, if someone comes to see my show, I'll, do maybe a little of the Crazy Lake stuff.
Of course, you got to do that. You got to address the fucking elephant in the room.
Exactly. And
it's like me
sometimes
having a
I do.
mustache and
not talking about it. It's like, does this dude know he has a mustache?
Yeah.
But for me, I want people to come away and go, yo, that dude is like way more than I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how I look at it. It's like, I love rock music, but I love soul. And I love country and I love jazz.
Right.
I don't want to be known as the guy that's just the rocker comic.
Sure.
I never wanted to be boxed into some rocker comic.
Sure.
So it was like, that's why early on I wore long sleeves and you know what I mean? Because I didn't want to be like the tattooed rocker.
Right.
And
if you're just a thing, that's all you're going to be.
It's terrible.
That's all you're going to be.
It's terrible,
Yeah, that's all you're going to be.
I pride myself on this podcast. Yeah, I'll talk about Guns N' Roses, but I'll also talk about Prince, and I'll talk about the Black Panther documentary.
Right, sure.
Whatever.
Sure.
I go all over. I have multi-interest.
Right,
and I think everybody should.
Yeah.
Don't be here just for one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really think the funny thing is you're a lot like Kevin Christie. You and I hit it off on that car ride home over watches.
Oh yeah.
That's how we hit it off.
Yeah. It's like a whole another thing. Like
it's so funny.
I used to work when I was in college. I worked for Ralph Lauren, right? And when I went to San Jose State, I worked at the Polo there, and then when I transferred to UCLA, I was like, oh, I'll just work at Polo here. But the Polo here was in Beverly Hills on Rodeo, right?
Yeah.
So it's a different thing. Like a totally different thing. But the cool thing about the Polo mansion there was they had vintage watches there.
Oh wow!
And so if you're buying you start to learn. So and they had some really great watches in there. So I started learning about watches like when I was early in college. From working there, and I learned these Rolexes are better or whatever. I've always had like the taste of a dude that was, in his 50s or 60s. You know what I mean?
I think it's like growing up on James Bond.
Yeah, exactly. So yes,
I got a lot of my taste from James Bond.
Like I really liked, Paul Newman was my favorite actor as a kid, which is weird for a kid, a black kid, to go, oh yeah, that dude's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll pick that guy.
Yeah.
So I really liked Paul Newman. I liked Steve McQueen a lot.
Yeah.
I just had really good taste, dude.
Yeah.
I had really good taste. Like, those dudes are no nonsense,
Yeah.
And that was back when.
Those are the dudes. It's Paul Newman, Clint Eastwood from the Dirty Harry shit, and Steve McQueen.
Right.
Those were the fucking guys. And to me, Bond.
Right.
They were dudes.
Right.
And you're
right.
like, man, you know, and you really, you start to worship what they do. Like, I love those boots he wore.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they're Red Wings, you know?
Right, or Steve McQueen's hopping that fence.
Yeah.
You look at the motorcycle he's on. Yeah, and you're like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he rides a Triumph Scrambler.
Yeah. And I'd already worked for Polo too, so like I kind of had a fashion sense or whatever. But so that's where I started first learning about watches, and then luckily made enough, like a little bit of money, like I'm gonna buy something, and we connected over watches. I don't really buy watches right now, but I have a lot that I like.
Yeah.
So I definitely need to make a lot more money for my taste.
That's like
because I have like super refined taste.
Yeah, me too. It's like a Dino Ferrari.
Yeah. I mean, dude, my Porsche that got stolen 72 911T S options,
Yeah.
silver. You know, I bought it and I knew exactly what I was buying.
Yep.
And it's only like now they're so collectible.
It's
You know what I mean?
unbelievable
But I
now,
bought
yeah.
it to drive. Like
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I want to, you know, I'm not just going to watch a Steve McQueen movie. I'm going to see what it feels like.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, hell yeah.
And that's actually one like connection that I had with Jerry. Like Jerry's a Porsche guy.
Yep.
I was a Porsche guy. And so, you know, like we were connected in that way
He helped
too.
you get your car?
Yeah, he did. He did.
That's amazing,
Yeah, it's pretty
man.
great. Like when I guest starred on that show too.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, that was a time where I was like, I'm going to do the shows I want to do.
Yeah.
And you know, when we were shooting, like I said to him, I said, hey, you know, my dad had Porsches. I want a 911. You know, I'm sort of thinking about this, and then he was like, "Oh, I'll put you in touch with my guy." And
Wow.
so, yeah, he helped me find my
Yeah.
Porsche, and it was great. It was great.
We bonded over the Defender 90 too.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Wow.
I love those.
Those
yeah.
are just through the roof
Yeah,
too.
now those have gone crazy. Everything that I like,
I know, me too.
if I don't buy it when I first like
You're
it,
fucked.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
means, oh, you've got to take a job you
Yeah.
don't want to do.
Yeah.
You've got to
it's-
do the Crazy Legs mysteries.
You know what I think is hilarious is here we are talking about like, yeah, we don't need shit. We just
Yeah, but now we're talking about the shit we like.
But then we're like, you know, if I got a hit
Yeah,
sitcom,
right,
I'd have the Defender
right,
90,
right.
a Ferrari Dino.
Yeah.
I would have fucking
Yeah.
the floating Daytona. You know what I mean? We just fucking.
Yeah, we've just gone totally back on. This is the
Totally.
most bullshit
Yeah,
interview.
totally. Everybody's like, hey, man, you're so full of shit.
Those guys were deep until they became their greedy selves.
It's funny because I was talking to you and you go, I don't think I could ever be a one-watch man.
Yeah.
But you know what I really am talking about though is you scale it down and get rid of the clutter.
Right.
They've proven that
Right.
if your house is a cluttered house, cluttered mind.
Right.
And I've like I'm cleaning my place up right now. I just
Yeah.
moved here, so of course
Yeah.
it's like fucking crazy. But if you get rid of stuff and just of course have the stuff you love, like I love my leather jackets,
Sure.
my motorcycles, and
Sure.
watches and records.
Sure.
If you just keep the stuff you love and not go like, my problem is I go, you know what? I love this shoe.
Right.
I'm going to love this. It's going to wear out. I better get 3 of those.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
where you go wrong because
Sure.
by the time that wears out, you're over that shoe
Sure,
anyway.
sure.
And then there's 2 in your
Sure.
closet you're never going to wear. So then
Sure.
onto eBay, you know.
Sure.
I have some weird thing where it's like, this is the ultimate motorcycle. I better
Yeah.
get another one
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
even going to wear this one out.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But you're so afraid that if something happens to this one, you
it's
can go to
true.
your backup
It's
motorcycle.
true because it takes a long
There's a very Batman theory about it.
Yeah. Well, it takes a long time to find the
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
you love.
Yeah,
Then when
yeah.
you find the
Yeah.
stuff you love, like I love Doc Martens. Been
Right.
wearing them all
Right.
my life. Here's the
Right.
same fucking
Right.
pair.
Right.
You know, some guy just told me a couple days ago he knows a dude that resoles them. I'm like, oh wow. I
Great.
never even knew
Yeah.
with the actual Doc Marten
Yeah.
sole. Here, I just buy a new pair every couple of years.
Yeah.
You know, which is
Yeah.
a dumb move because they're leather.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fuck, good talking to you, dude.
Yeah, man, this has been great. I'm glad we did this.
Let's
we could
get some pizza, huh?
Yeah, let's do it. All right,
What,
cool.
you got anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm doing a bunch of stand up, and yeah, I actually have I have something that I can't talk about yet.
Oh, yeah?
but it's yeah, it'll be good, and it'll be stand up ish. I'll just say it.
Am
like
I
that.
in it?
You're not in it. You're not in this. You're not in this Inception, but
Yeah.
you will be in a future Inception. Let me say that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So that's a little tease that makes you go,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you got a website or Twitter?
I do have a website, SuliMcCullough.com, SuliMcCullough.com. I'm on Instagram at Suli McCullough, Twitter, Suli
Yeah.
McCullough. I'm Suli McCullough, goddammit.
Yeah, go see him.
Yeah, go see me.
Fucking love you, dude. Thanks
Yeah,
for
man,
coming on.
this is great.
Rock
Thanks,
and roll.
man.
See you guys.